Hello everyone. In this experiment, we will learn how to estimate the number of candies in a jar using two different methods. The materials you'll need are presented in the picture shown here. Method 1 utilizes the volume formula based on the estimated shape of the jar. For example, the jar can be cylindrical or cubic. Then, based on the required inputs for the formula, we can measure the jar dimensions using the size of one candy as a guide. For example, in this picture, the jar is approximated as a cylinder. Based on the volume formula of a cylinder, the required inputs to measure are jar radius and height. To measure the radius and height, we can use the size of one candy as a scale. In this example, the approximate height of the jar is 3 candies, and the radius is 1.5 candies. Next, after measuring the height and radius of the jar, they are input into the volume formula. In this example, the estimated candies were 21, and the real amount was 17. Therefore, the error between the two is equal to 4 candies. One optional step to this method is applying the random packing error to the estimated amount of candy. This approach takes into consideration the amount of empty space between each candy based on the candy's general shape. For spheres, the random packing is 64%, and for spheroids, it is 66.5%. Using the same example, recall that the estimated candies were 21. When applying the 64% random packing to this value, the new estimate is 13 candies. Since the real candies in the jar were 17, the error this time is still 4 candies. Next, let's look at method 2. In this procedure, we count the number of candies which cover one layer of the jar, and then count the total stacked layers in the jar. Keep in mind that the number of layers is equal to the height of the jar in candies. Finally, we multiply the candies that occupy one layer with the number of layers inside the jar. Using the same example from method 1, it is observed that the candies which occupy one layer of the jar are equal to 6, while the total number of layers inside of the jar are equal to 3. Once all the measurements are acquired, we can multiply the candies in one layer by the total number of layers. In this case, the estimated candies are calculated as 18, while the real number of candies are 17. This gives us an error of 1 candy.